Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are discussing the parathyroid hormone and their role in the regulation of the calcium and phosphorus. We have discussed the thyroid hormone. We can see that along with the thyroid, here we have some parathyroid glands which are present at the back of the thyroid gland. The discussion is being carried out from the book Rocker and Walker because this topic is present in that, and I want to cover the parathyroid hormone as well. As you have seen in this picture that there are 4 parathyroid glands situated posterior to the upper and lower lobes of the thyroid. Gland secretes parathyroid hormone that regulates calcium. Calcium is mostly present in different types of these structures in the normal individual, in bones, in muscles. And if we talk about in the blood, approximately 50% of the calcium is ionically bind to the albumin, while there is unbound ionized plasma calcium levels that regulates the secretion of the parathyroid hormone. Increased calcium concentration suppressing the secretion of the parathyroid hormone, and there will be low levels of the parathyroid hormone. And if there is low level of the calcium, then it will stimulate the secretion of the parathyroid hormone. PTH, which is the parathyroid hormone, is a simplest amino acid polypeptide that is act on a specific receptor targets on the tissue cells. It mainly acts on the kidney, tubular transport of the calcium and phosphorus, and also stimulates the renal synthesis of the active form of the cholecalciferol, that is vitamin D, that is required for the maintenance of the calcium level in the blood. So PTH along with the vitamin D maintains exact plasma calcium levels within a normal range. Furthermore, you should know that there are 2 types of bone cells are there. One is osteoblast and another is the osteoclast. It basically, PTH stimulates both type of activity depending upon the calcium level in the blood. Osteoblasts are responsible for the synthesis of the extracellular bone matrix, while osteoclasts are responsible for decalcification, and they will digest the protein matrix of the bone that will break the calcium. PTH mainly stimulates the osteoclast mediated bone resorption in a condition when there is a low blood calcium level. However, in addition, it has an anabolic effect on bone with an increase in the osteoblast activity when there is high plasma level of the calcium. अगर calcium ज़्यादा होगा तो वो osteoblast को stimulate करेगा, वो calcium जो है वो ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा बोन में, बोन फॉर्मेशन होगी. अगर कैल्शियम लो है तो ओस्टियोक्लास्टिक एक्टिविटी जो है वो एक्टिवेट होंगी और बोन से कैल्शियम निकल के जो है वो ब्लड में जाएगा. As it is an endocrinal disorder, we will discuss its lower concentration and its higher concentration. So hypoparathyroidism lead to the hypocalcemia is a clinical state which may arise either from the failure of the parathyroid gland to secrete the PTH, or there is a failure to produce its action on the tissue level. इन 2 कंडीशन है हमारे पास, या तो हमारे पास PTH प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं हो रहा, सिक्रीट ही नहीं हो रहा, या there is a resistance of its action at tissue level. How this occurs? What is the cause? The major cause is the thyroid disease or the surgery for the thyroid disease. क्या आप देख सकते हैं कि पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड की जो पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड है वो थायराइड ग्लैंड पर बिल्कुल स्टिक है. अगर थायराइड सर्जरी होगी तो देयर विल बी अ रिमूवल ऑफ द पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड एज वेल. बहुत ही एक्सपर्टीज चाहिए होती है, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम देयर इज also 1% evidence that after the thyroid surgery, parathyroid is also removed. What are the other causes? The other causes are of the hyperparathyroidism and autoimmune parathyroid destruction. जो autoimmune disorders है जिसमें parathyroid की जो cells हैं वो destruct हो रहे हैं, और there may be any other multiple endocrine disorder in which there is a hyposecretion of the thyroid gland. This is one of the major reasons of the low calcium in the neonates. There may be a pseudo hypoparathyroidism. What is pseudo hypoparathyroidism? Is a condition in which there is a normal concentration of the PTH. However, they are unable to produce its effects through the defects in the receptor of the PTH. Furthermore, it may be drug induced, like in case of if we are using the omeprazole in some patient, there may be a hypocalcemia and hypomagnesia. Like furosemide, like omeprazole, they can also lead to the lower levels of the electrolytes. Especially omeprazole के case में क्या होता है कि there is a severely magnesium deficiency that lead to the acquired hypoparathyroidism. What are the symptoms? Symptoms are mainly due to the low calcium level, and low calcium levels may lead to the muscle pain, bone pain, and along with the increased neuromuscular excitability. These are some symptoms of the hypocalcemia, including the numbness and tingling in the extremities. There may be a muscle spasm. Epilepsy may occur, irritability. There may be a cataract. There may be a facial spasm due to the blockage of the 7th cranial nerve, lead to the Chebyshev sign. There may be a spasm of hand when blood pressure is usually measured because of the pressure of the cuffs above the systolic pressure, जो कि प्रोसीजर है नॉर्मल ब्लड प्रेशर का, उसमें अगर करेंगे तो स्पाजम हो जाएगा हाथ में. These are some symptoms of the hypocalcemia. As far as diagnosis is concerned, the hypocalcemia is mainly associated with the either undetectable or lower concentration of the PTH, inconsistent with the hypoparathyroidism. There should be also an error regarding the concentration of the free plasma, and for that reason we have to correct the plasma calculations by adding a factor in which we basically subtract the plasma albumin to the 40 and multiply 8.02. This factor would be added to the measured calcium, which slightly increase the calcium levels. जिसमें हमें पता चला है कि बेसिकली एक एब्नॉर्मलिटी शो होती है एल्बुमिन की वजह से. तो एल्बुमिन का फैक्टर रिमूव करने के लिए हम ये फॉर्मूला यूज करते हैं कि वी विल गेट द करेक्ट कैल्शियम लेवल. One more important thing is that usually when there is hypocalcemia, there may be a hyperphosphatemia. फॉस्फेट का लेवल जो है वो ज्यादा हो जाएगा जब भी हाइपोकैल्सीमिया होगा. There are several other types of the causes जो कि हम इस बॉक्स में देख सकते हैं कि we have different types of causes that lead to the hypocalcemia, and one of the major cause is the hyperphosphatemia. For the hypocalcemia, one cause is the hypoparathyroidism. There may be a pseudo hypoparathyroidism, a drug induced. There may be a vitamin D deficiency, either due to the malabsorption or due to insensitivity. There may be a acute and chronic renal failure. You must understand that chronic renal failure may we have the deficiency of the calcium. Chronic alcoholism and hypomagnesia, drug induced, that is protein pump inhibitors, and acute pancreatitis. These are some causes that lead to the lower levels of the calcium in the blood. You must remember that some drugs may produce hypocalcemia, and these drugs are calcitonin, clindamycin, that is mithramycin formerly, phosphate, biphosphonates of phenytoin, phenobarbital, cholestyramine, cisplatin, 5-fluorouracil, and high dose of the citrate or lactate in case of Ringer lactate solutions. What will be the treatment? And it is a hypocalcemia. It should be treated with IV calcium gluconate अगर tetany है. What is tetany? Tetany is characterized by the spasm of hands, feet, cramps, spasm of the voice box, overactivity of the neurological reflexes, and it somewhat resembles to one type of the epilepsy. There is marked hypocalcemia. There is severe alkalosis. And for correction of this, initially we require 10 ml of the 10% calcium gluconate IV in a slow intravenous injection. एकदम से नहीं लगाएंगे, तमाम इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स को हम कोशिश करेंगे स्लो इन्फ्यूजन में दें. ECG should be monitored because of imbalance. एकदम से जो है वो इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स का लेवल चेंज हो सकता है, इसीलिए ECG continuously monitor करेंगे. If the patient can swallow, ओरल थेरेपी शुड बी रिकमेंडेड कि बॉडी खुद ही उसको एडजस्ट कर ले. ओरल थेरेपी आईवी पे हमेशा जो है वो प्रेफर है, लेकिन इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन है देन वी विल गो फॉर द आईवी. बट स्लो इन्फ्यूजन है, if the calcium 10 ml of the calcium gluconate is unable to correct the hypocalcemia, then it further corrected by further addition of the 20 ml of 10% injection, that is added to about 500 ml of the IV fluid, and this will be given after over a period of 6 hours. पूरा जो 500 ml है वो 6 घंटे के अंदर आपने आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके देना है for the concurrent measurement of the magnesium. ये मैग्नीशियम का लेवल भी कम हो सकता है. For chronic treatment, PTH therapy is not currently a practical option as the hormone has to be administered parenterally and the cost of the therapy will be very high. So for maintenance therapy of the hypoparathyroidism, it will be better to use the vitamin D preparations instead of the parathyroid hormone preparations. Because if it is a primary parathyroidism, hypoparathyroidism, then there will be no activation of the vitamin D. Then we will, instead of giving the parathyroid hormone, we are using the vitamin D supplement to maintain the calcium levels. So continuous basis पे calcium supplementation is required along with the ergocalciferol, which is the vitamin D2. Calcitriol is preferred over the ergocalciferol. Preferred drugs are alpha calcidol and the calcitriol, which their effects are persist within 1 week and they are easy to withdraw. इसमें hypercalcemia की crisis जो है वो कम है, while ergocalciferol का जो duration है वो बहुत ज्यादा है. It takes 4 to 8 weeks to restore a normal calcium. फौरन से इफेक्ट नहीं आएंगे, 2 महीने लग जाएंगे नॉर्मल कैल्शियम को होने में और फिर इफेक्ट जो है वो परसिस्ट रहेगा 4 मंथ तक. तो स्लो इफेक्ट है और फिर इफेक्ट लंबा है. लेकिन कैल्सिट्रायोल के केसेस में इफेक्ट 1 वीक के अंदर आ जाएगा और अल्फा कैल्सिट्रायोल का जो इफेक्ट है वो भी परसिस्ट करेगा 1 वीक तक. यानी अगर परसिस्टेंस कम है तो इफेक्ट का ऑनसेट भी क्विक है. कैल्शियम लेवल्स को कंटिन्यूअसली मॉनिटर करेंगे टू गेट द स्टेबल नॉर्मोकैल्सीमिया. Another imbalance of the parathyroid hormone is the hyperparathyroidism that occurs due to the increased production of the PTH by the thyroid gland. It may be primary hyperparathyroidism that causes the hypercalcemia, and there may be a secondary hyperparathyroidism that reflects a physiological response to the hypocalcemia or hyperphosphatemia. Not so much common, however, 25 cases are annually reported in 1 million of the population per year, and the incidence is somewhat higher in women as compared to men. What are the causes? The major cause is the adenoma, in which there is hyperplasia of all 4 glands that mainly lead to the multiple endocrine neoplasia syndromes. If we talk about the secondary hyperparathyroidism, it basically due to the chronic renal failure. You must remember, CKD का पेशेंट होगा उसमें पैराथायरॉइड हार्मोन ग्लैंड का साइज इंक्रीज हो जाएगा बिकॉज ऑफ द नॉन फंक्शनल नेफ्रॉन्स की वजह से देयर इज अ डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ विटामिन डी. वहां पे एक्टिव फॉर्म जो है कैल्सिट्रायोल की वो नहीं बनेगी ड्यू टू द डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ विटामिन डी. नेगेटिव जो फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म है वो पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म के थ्रू एक्टिव हो जाएगा और देयर विल बी कंटिन्यूअस स्टिमुलेशन ऑफ द पैराथायरॉइड हार्मोन ड्यू टू लो कैल्शियम लेवल. कैल्शियम लेवल्स के तमाम स्टेजेस में क्या होगा कि देयर इज अ राइज इन द फॉस्फेट कंसंट्रेशन ड्यू टू द कंटिन्यूअस स्टिमुलेशन ऑफ द पीटीएच, एंड इट इज मोर व्हेन द डिजीज इज प्रोग्रेस, स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ सीकेडी टाइप 3, टाइप 4 एंड टाइप 5-1. Because of the reduction in the hydroxylation of the vitamin D, it also reduces the intestinal calcium absorption, further stimulation of the parathyroid hormone. So you should remember that causes of hypoglycemia and causes of hyperglycemia should not be intermixed. If there is a chronic renal failure, then there may be more chances that there may be a हाइपरपैराथायरॉइडिज्म. पैराथायरॉइड का साइज जो है, पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड का साइज जो है वो इंक्रीज हो सकता है सीकेडी के पेशेंट में. मगर कंटिन्यूअस फेलियर है, अगर एक्यूट फेलियर है तो देयर मे बी अ हाइपोकैल्सीमिया. third problem is also there, which is called as the tertiary hyperparathyroidism. Continuous stimulate a parathyroid gland और release CKD की progress हो रही है, that lead to the end stage renal failure, ESRD or ESRF, along with the hyperplastic parathyroid gland. In that situation, hyperplastic parathyroid gland become autonomous. अब वो खुद ही अपने आप को रेगुलेट करेगा and that will increase the calcium levels above the normal. तो ये जो लेवल्स हैं ये डिस्टर्ब हो जाएंगे कैल्शियम के ड्यू टू दी डिस्टर्बेंस इन दी पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड. What are clinical features of the primary hyperparathyroidism? And it is mentioned in the box 43.8. These are somewhat similar to the symptoms of the diabetes mellitus, like polydipsia, polyuria, anorexia, weight loss, change in the mental status of a person, poor concentration, memory, there may be a fatigue, nausea, dyspepsia, vomiting, or there may be a constipation, there may be hypertension, there may be renal stones, there may be calcium deposits. Calcium का concentration बढ़ रहा है, वहाँ पे भी उसके stones बनेंगे. That stone may be present in either the kidney, either in the conjunctiva. There may be a bone pain and there may be a deformity. कोई एक्स्ट्रा इस तरह का बोन के अंदर कोई जहाँ पे स्ट्रेस आ रहा होगा वहाँ पे कोई बोन डिफॉर्मेशन हो जाएगी, कोई स्ट्रक्चर बन जाएगा जैसी बोन नहीं थी, और there may be some pathological fractures. कैल्शियम हाई है लेकिन प्रॉब्लमैटिक फ्रैक्चर्स जो है वो अकर होंगे due to disturbance in the phosphate and calcium metabolism. You must also should differentiate between the primary hyperparathyroidism and the pseudo hyperparathyroidism. Primary hyperparathyroidism is largely due to the automated measurement of the plasma calcium. There may be adenomas. With the early stages phase, there will be no symptoms that progress to the mild or symptomatic disease. It is a classical disease representing of the bone problems and the renal stones. Here we have to examine the bone disease and by the DEXA stain, which is a densitometry scan normally carried out to show the bone loss and osteoclastic or osteoporotic fractures activity in a person in a later life. ये टेंडेंसी कैसे बढ़ जाएगी कि देयर में भी बोन्स जो है वो ओस्टियोपोरोसिस का शिकार होकर फिर जो है वो फ्रैक्चर में चली जाएगी. हाउ इट इज इन्वेस्टिगेटेड? इट इज अ बायोकेमिकल एब्नॉर्मलिटी and there is a low levels of the phosphates. Phosphates कम हैं और PTH के levels भी जो है वो inappropriate होंगे either according to the calcium levels. अगर बहुत ज्यादा hypercalcemia है तो उस हिसाब से PTH के levels जो है fluctuate होंगे और उसमें हो सकता है कि normal भी आ जाए. तो in a patient with a borderline elevation of a calcium and a normal or only marginally elevated PTH, there may be a benign condition which is called as the familial hypocalciuric condition, that in which there may be a hypercalcemia. Here urine calcium excretion is more, that is reflection of the primary hyperthyroidism. While urine calcium excretion is decreased in a benign condition, familial hypocalciuric, यानी हम ये देखेंगे कि किडनी में कितना कैल्शियम है. अगर कैल्शियम किडनी में बढ़ गया है तो ये इंडिकेटिव है प्राइमरी हाइपरपैराथायरॉइडिज्म की, और अगर कैल्शियम किडनी में कम है तो दिस इज बेसिकली ड्यू टू दी अनदर बिनाइन कंडीशन जिसमें जो है वो यूरिन में जो है कैल्शियम जो है कम है. देयर मे बी अ ओवर यूज ऑफ द विटामिन डी सप्लीमेंट्स that lead to the this problem. There may be a thyrotoxicosis. Thyrotoxicosis की वजह से भी जो है वो प्रॉब्लम हो सकते हैं. There may be a malignancy that include the myeloma. अगर myeloma है, मसल्स का प्रॉब्लम है तो there may be hypercalcemia. So in secondary hyperparathyroidism, there is hypercalcemia with the levels of the PTH either undetectable as either normal parathyroid glands that appropriately showing that the reasons are others. There are several types of calcium secreting tumors that basically elevate the calcium levels in the blood, and this is one of the major cause of the diagnosis of the malignancy and metastasis. If it is a tumor of the parathyroid gland, it requires aggressive checking and requires ultrasound before performing a next exploration. And there may be several types of scanning techniques are there, that is CT scan, MRI, and other venous sampling for those patients in which the exact location and exact causes cannot be determined. What will be the treatment? If it is an adenoma, there should be a surgical removal of the hyperplastic tissue, and this is the only curative treatment for the primary hyperparathyroidism. Initial lifespan में ये प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं करेगा, लेकिन after the 5 years it may produce a longer effects on the renal function and the most bone mass because of the inhibition of its parathyroid hormone function. So for that patient, in practice, these patients, when they observe the specific type of problem, then they should be handled separately. For example, if a person is complaining of osteoporosis, then they are managed by the biphosphonates. If the person is hypertensive, became hypertensive, then antihypertensive should be prescribed. Or if there is any type of therapy related to edema, then there will be constipation, then laxative should be added. As there is an adenoma, अगर adenoma है तो then that will be persistent hypercalcemia more than 2.85 millimoles per liter. That require that either due to the hypercalcemia, renal impairment, renal stones, and the progression of the osteoporosis. For that, we have to remove the parathyroid glands to control these type of indications, problems. If a complete removal is there, then there will be temporary hypocalcemia after the operation. And if especially it is the bone disease disorder, the patient should be supplemented with the calcium supplement along with the alpha calcidol or calcitriol supplements. And there is a mistake in this sentence. Approximately 10% of the surgically treated patients develop the permanent hypoparathyroidism. हमने तो उसमें रिमूव कर दिया ना, तो अब हाइपो हो जाएगा, कंसंट्रेशन जो है वो नहीं है अब, तो फिर सर्जरी के बाद, रिमूवल के बाद, पैराथायरॉइड ग्लैंड के रिमूवल के बाद देर में hyperparathyroidism. How hypercalcemia is managed? Hypercalcemia, if it is occur or it is a common medical emergency, should be immediately corrected by further checking of we have to identify the exact cause, number one. And the treatment strategy is given in this table. You can see that the initial practice is to rehydrate the patient and the use of the parenteral biphosphonates. पहले हमें rehydrate करना है, और rehydrate के साथ साथ हमें ये strategy भी अपनानी है कि there are certain drugs that increase the calcium excretion like loop diuretics, furosemide जो है वो increase करता है urinary calcium excretion को. तो हम hypercalcemia, especially अगर कोई कार्सिनोइड ट्यूमर्स हैं जिसमें कैल्शियम के लेवल्स बढ़ रहे हैं, वहां पे हाइपरकैल्सीमिया ट्रीट करने के लिए हम लूप डायरेटिक्स दे सकते हैं. बोन डिसऑप्शन को बचाने के लिए वी कैन यूज आइदर बाइफॉस्फोनेट्स, वी कैन यूज कैल्सिटोनिन, और वी कैन यूज गेलियम एंड मिथ्रामाइसिन. एंड अमंग देम बाइफॉस्फोनेट्स आर मोस्ट कॉमनली यूज्ड. Pamidronate in the dose of 60 mg in 250 ml normal saline should be given over 30 minutes, that will normalize the calcium over 72 hours in most of the patients. यानी 3 days तक जो है वो फिर कैल्शियम को ये पैमिड्रोनेट जो है वो बैलेंस कर देगा. So these are some strategies to treat hypercalcemia, that either we increase the urinary calcium excretion by use of the normal saline plus diuretics. We can reduce the bone resorption by use of biphosphonates. We can reduce the gastrointestinal absorption by the use of the glucocorticoids in a calcitriol dependent manner, and for example vitamin D is excess. Or there may be a chelation dialysis with the use of the intravenous PDTA or phosphate solutions. Then we have some case studies. Case studies हम तमाम और डिसऑर्डर्स के एक साथ डिस्कस करेंगे. पहले हमारे मेजर डिसऑर्डर्स हैं. थैंक यू.